Welcome to Sotantra education. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the nested loop. Suppose we want to find the prime numbers between an interval or within an interval. Assume it is A and B. Now we want to find the prime numbers that are present between A and B. Suppose for example, consider the value of A is 5 and the value of B is 10. Now, what are the prime numbers present between 5 and 10? So, these are 7 only. So, between 5 and 10 only one prime number you can find, that is 7, because 6 is not a prime, 7 is prime, 8 is not a prime and 9 is also not a prime. Now, consider the value of A is 10 and the value of B is 20, or we can say we want to find the prime numbers between 10 and 20. So, what are the prime numbers here? So, here you can find 11, 13, 17, 19. So, 11, 13, 17, 19 are the prime numbers found between 10 and 20. So, for this we want to write a program that is going to take two numbers as input and prints or displays the prime numbers within the given input. So, you can see this sample execution of the program. So, here the program is asking enter two numbers and assume the user enter 10 and 20. Now, it is displaying the prime numbers like 11, 13, 17, 19. So, for this we want to write a program. Now, assume the the interval is A and B. We want to find the prime numbers between A and B. So, for that we can write a program like this: for int I equal to A plus 1, I less than B, I plus plus. Now, within this loop we want to check whether I is prime or not, and if I is prime, then print I. So, within this for loop we want to check whether I is prime or not. So, if I is prime, print I, then increment the value of I. So, we have already discussed this part in the previous lecture, how to check whether a number is prime or not. We have already discussed. Now, inside this loop we want to check whether the number is prime or not using the concept that we have already discussed. So, you can see the complete program here. So, here it is asking enter two numbers and the received numbers are stored in A and B. Now, it is printing the prime numbers are. So, here the for loop as we have discussed. Now, inside this for loop we are checking whether I is prime or not. So, here you can consider this one. This code snippet is to check whether I is prime or not. If I is prime, it is simply printing the value of I here. So, if I is not prime, then proceed to the next value of I. So, for that we are taking one boolean variable is prime and initially it is true. Now, we want to compute or we want to find the factors of I, and we are starting from 2. So, if we find a factor, then we are updating this is prime value to false, then break. Now, if is prime means if it is true, then we are printing the value of I. So if it is false, that means this part is executed. That means we have found a factor. At that time, the value of I is not a prime. So this part we have already discussed. Now inside this loop, we are checking whether I is prime or not. So this program is going to print the prime numbers within an interval. So here you can see this is one loop, this is one while loop, and this is another for loop. So here you can say it is outer loop, and here you can see this is inner loop. So here you can observe one loop is written inside another loop, or we can say the inner loop is written inside the outer loop, or we can say the while loop is written inside for loop. So if we write one loop inside another loop, so this type of structure is called as nested loop, like nested if else. So if we write one if else inside another if else, it is called as nested if else. Similarly, here if we write one loop inside another loop, that is called as nested loop. So using the nested loop structure or concept, we can find the prime numbers within an interval. Now consider this multiplication table. Suppose we want to write a program that is going to print the multiplication table. So here up to 5 rows we have written. You can write up to any number. Now suppose we want to print this type of structure or this multiplication table. So we can write in this way: for int I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus, system dot out dot print I. So this is for the first row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this program is going to, this code snippet is going to print this first row. Now we need to print the second row. So for that, the control should come to the next line. So to make the control come to the next line, so we can write system dot out dot println, so that the control comes to the next line. So here we can write for int I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus, system dot out dot print 2 into I, then system dot out dot println to make the control to the next line, to take the control to the next line. Similarly, for the third row, we can write for int I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus, print 3 into I. Similarly, for fourth row, we can write 4 into I. For fifth row, we can write 5 into I. So if we generalize, for the first row, we can write 1 into I here. So instead of simple I, we can write print 1 into I. So for first row 1 into I, for second row 2 into I, for third row 3 into I, for fourth row 4 into I, for fifth row 5 into I, like that we can write. So here you can see the complete program. So this is for this code snippet is for the first row. This code snippet is for the second row. This code snippet is for the third row. This code snippet is for the fourth row. and this code snippet is for the fifth row. So here I have taken /t to add the tab or to add some space after printing the number or after printing the value. So here you can see for each row we are writing one for loop. So for n rows we need n for loop. So instead of writing n for loops, we can take another loop that is going to execute n times. So that is the concept of loop. So instead of repeatedly writing something, so instead of repeatedly writing this thing, we can use a loop that is going to execute 5 times in this example, or in general it is going to execute n times. So for that we can write here, so we can write for int row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus, because here we have 5 rows, that's why we are writing 5. Now we can write for int I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus, system dot out dot print row into I, because for first row it is 1 into I, for second row it is 2 into I, like that, row into I. Then for new line we can write system dot out dot println. So this is the code snippet that is going to print the multiplication table. So here you can observe initially the value of row equal to 1 and the value of I equal to 1, or we can consider from the beginning. So initially the row value is 1, then 1 less than equal to 5, yes it is true, then this for loop is going to execute. So I value is equal to 1, so I value is equal to 1, then again the condition I less than equal to 10, that means 1 less than equal to 10, yes it is true, then this body is going to execute print row into I. What is the value of row 1, what is the value of I? 1. So it is going to print 1 here, so it is going to print 1. Now so after this the value of I is going to incremented, that is I value becomes 2, so I value becomes here 2. Now 2 less than 10, yes it is true, then print row into I. So row into I, what is the value of row 1, what is the value of I? 2, so it is going to print row into I, that is equal to 2. Now the value of I becomes 3, then again it is going to follow the same procedure and print row into I, that is equal to 3. Then the value of I becomes 4, it is going to print 4. Then the value of I becomes 5, it is going to print 5. Then the value of I becomes 6, so it is going to print 6, like it will print up to 10. So when, and here this value also continues up to 10. So when the value of I becomes 11, this for loop or this condition becomes false. I less than equal to 10 becomes false. So the body is not going to execute. Body means this one, this system dot out dot print row into I, because we have not written any curly braces. So if we do not give any curly braces, then only one statement is going to execute in the body. So here the body is, when this condition becomes false, the body is not going to execute, then it is going to print, or it is going to execute this one, that means the control comes to the next line. So here the control comes here. Now here the body is completed, the value of rho is incremented, so rho becomes 2. So the value of rho becomes 2. Again 2 less than equal to 5, yes, it is true. Then this part is again going to execute, and the value of I again starts from 1, 2, 3 like that, and it is going to print 2 into 1, 2 into 3, 2 into 3 like that. So it is going to print 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 like this up to 20. Similarly, again the value of rho is updated to 3, so it is going to print 3 into 1, 3 into 2 like this. So 3, 6, 9 dot dot dot, like it will continue, and it is going to print up to row 5, that is 5, 10, 15, 20 like this it is going to print. So here you can see the complete code. So public static void main, then for int row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus, for int I equal to 1, I less than 10, I plus plus, system dot out dot print row into I, and plus slash t, this is for tab or some space. Then system dot out dot println to make the control come to the next line. So this is the complete program that is going to print the multiplication table. So if you understood the concept of printing the multiplication table, so you can also print this pattern. So here you can consider we have 5 rows and 5 columns. So it is consider R1, or take a different color. So consider this is R1 or row 1, this is row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. So we have 5 rows, and here we can consider C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. That means we have 5 columns. So C is for column, R is for row. So we have 5 rows and 5 columns. So in the previous program here in the multiplication table, so in each iteration we are printing the row value, multiplication column value. So here also you can observe this is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, and it is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, column 6, column 7, column 8, column 9, column 10. So in each iteration we are printing the multiplication of row and column. So here you can see it is 9. So what is the row value? It is 3. What is the column value? 3. So it is 3 into 3, it is 9. So consider this one 24. What is the row value? 4. What is the column value? 6. So it is 4 into 6, it is 24. So in each iteration we are printing the multiplication of row into I, or we can consider row into column. Now here in this pattern we are going to print only star in each iteration. So it is simple one, similar to the multiplication table. So we can write in this way: for row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus, then we can write for column equal to 1, column less than equal to 5, column plus plus, then inside that we can write system dot out dot print star. Then for the new line we can write system dot out dot println. So this is the code snippet to print this pattern. So here you can observe initially the value of row equal to 1, then it checks the condition row less than 5, that is 1 less than 5, it is true. Then the control comes to this for loop, that is inner for loop, and in the inner for loop the value of column becomes 1, then the condition column less than equal to 5, that is equal to 1 less than equal to 5 is true, then it prints a star. So it is going to print a star. Now the value of column is incremented, so column becomes 2. So the value of column becomes 2. Now the condition is checked, column less than equal to 5, yes, then the body of this inner for loop is going to execute, that is print star. So it is going to print another star. Then the value of column is updated, so the column becomes 3. Now again the condition is checked, column less than 5, yes, it is true, then it is going to print another star. Now the value of column becomes 4, 4 less than 5 is true, so it is going to print another star. Now the value of column becomes 5, 5 less than equal to 5, yes, it is true, so it is going to print another star. Now the value of column becomes 6, so 6 less than equal to 5, this condition becomes false. So when this condition becomes false, this statement is going to execute system.out.println. So println means the control comes to the next line. So here the control comes to the next line. Now after executing this statement, the value of row is going to be incremented, so the value of row becomes 2. So row becomes 2. Now 2 less than equal to 5, yes, it is true. Then again the control comes to this inner loop, that is column value becomes 1. So the column value again becomes 1, and 1 less than equal to 5, yes, it is true, it is going to print 1 star. Then column value 2, it becomes another star. Column value 3, it prints another star. Column value 4, it prints another star. Column value 5, it prints another star. Now column becomes 6, the control comes to the next line. So the value of row is then updated to 3. So like this it will print stars in 5 rows. So you can see the complete program here. You can see the complete program. Row value less than equal to 5, column value less than equal to 5, print star. So this is the complete program to print star in 5 rows and 5 columns. Now concentrate on this pattern. So here in this pattern you can consider this is row 1, the next is row 2, this is row 3, row 4, and it is row 5. So here you can observe in row 1 here only one star is there, or we can say one column contains the star. Similarly in row 2, 2 stars are there, or we can say 2 columns contains the star. Similarly in row 3, 3 stars are there, or we can say 3 columns contains the star. Similarly in row 4, 4 stars are there, or we can say 4 column has the star. Similarly in row 5, 5 stars are there, or we can say 5 column contain the star. So if we generalize this, so we can say when the value of rows equal to r, the value of columns the value of columns varies from 1 to r, varies from 1 to r. So for the values of rows r, the value of column varies from 1 to r. Here you can see when the value of row equal to 3, the value of column is 1, then 2, then 3. Similarly, when the value of row is 4, the value of column is 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, this is column 4, like this. So we can write the code for the pattern like this. So we can write in this way: for row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, because here we are considering 5 rows, then row plus plus. Then after this we can write for column equal to 1, column value less than equal to r, or we can say the column value is from 1 to row, then column plus plus, then system.out.print star, then system.out.println for the new line. So here you can observe, initially the value of row equal to 1, then this condition row less than equal to 5, yes it is true, then the control comes to this inner loop, column value is equal to 1, column equal to 1, then the condition column less than equal to row is true, because 1 less than equal to 1 true, then print star. So it is going to print 1 star here. Then this column value is updated, it is 2. Now the condition column less than equal to row, that is 2 less than equal to 1, is false. So the control comes here, or we can say the inner loop is terminated and the control comes here, that is println. Println means the control comes to the next line. Then after this the value of row is updated to 2, or we can say the value of row is updated to 2. Now 2 less than equal to 5, yes it is true, then again the control comes to the inner loop. So column equal to 1, so again the value of column becomes 1, then column less than equal to row, so 1 less than equal to row, that means 1 less than equal to 2, yes it is true, so it prints 1 star, or you can say it prints star. Then the column value is updated to 2. Now again check the condition, column less than equal to row, yes it is true, so again print star. Now the column value is updated to 3. So 3 less than equal to row, no it is false, this condition becomes false. Then when this condition becomes false, this inner loop is terminated and the control comes here, that is control comes to the next line. And after executing this statement, the row value is updated, so row becomes 3. Now again column becomes 1, because this row less than 5, that is 3 less than 5 is true, then the column becomes 1 and this column less than equal to row is true, so it is going to print 1 star, then column value becomes 2, so it is going to print another star, then column becomes 3, it is going to print another star, then column becomes 4, so the loop is terminated, then the value of row becomes 4, like this. So here you can observe it is already printed the pattern up to row 3. Now it will continue up to row 5. Similarly in fourth row it is going to print 4 star, then in fifth row it is going to print 5 number of star following the same structure. So you can see the complete code here, or you can say the complete program. Here you can see that is going to print the structure like this: star, then 2 star, then 3 star, then 4 star, then 5 star, like this. So here you can also observe this pattern from a different angle. So like this is, we have already discussed, this is, assume this is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, or it is better come to this figure directly. Okay, so here row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Now we can also write this is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, next column 4, next column 5. So consider there are 5 rows and 5 columns in this pattern. So when the value of column is less than equal to row, so you can find a star. So here you can consider what is the value of column. So column is 1. What is the value of row? 1. So the value of column less than equal to row, so there is a star. So here you can see the relation: column less than equal to row. Now consider this one here. What is the value of row? 1. What is the value of column? 2. So the value of column is 2 less than equal to row 1, so it is false. So here no star is there, it is space. Similarly here you can see what is the value of column? 3. What is the value of row? It is 3. So column less than equal to row, yes, it is true. So here you can find a star. Similarly consider this one. What is the value of column? So it is 2. What is the value of row? It is 5. So 2 less than equal to 5, yes, it is true. Then here you can find a star. Similarly consider this one. Here what is the value of column? 4. What is the value of row? It is 3 and column is 4. So column less than equal to row? No, this condition is false. So no star is there, here it is space. So when column less than equal to row, we can write print star, or else when this condition is false, print space or blank space. So we can write the code like this. So if we want to write here, we can write in this way: for row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus. Then we can write for column equal to 1, column less than equal to 5, column plus plus. Now here inside the inner loop we can write if the value of column less than equal to row, then system dot out dot print star, else system dot out dot print some space. Then after this we can write system dot out dot println to make the control to the new line. So here you can observe this is the code snippet. So when the value of column less than equal to row, there is a star. So we are writing system.out.print star, otherwise print space. So printing the space after the star does not make any sense. So we can remove this else part also. So here else part is not required. This code snippet is sufficient to print the pattern that we are discussing. So you can see the complete code here. So for int row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus. For int column equal to 1, column less than equal to 5, column plus plus. That is, we are considering 5 rows and 5 columns. Now if the value of column less than equal to row, then print star. Then after this inner loop, system.out.println to move the control to the next line, or to print the stars in the next line. So now in this code, consider this condition: if column less than equal to row, we are printing star, else print space, or we are ignoring the else part here. Now if we write if column greater than equal to row, then system.out.print star, else system.out.print space. Then what will be the output? So just reverse this condition, or you can see the code here. So for int row equal to 1, row less than 5, row plus plus. For column equal to 1, column less than 5, column plus plus. So if column value greater than equal to row, then print star, else print space, like we have discussed here. If column value greater than equal to row, then print star, else print space. So here what will be the output if we just reverse the condition? So here you can see. So assume this is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, then column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. Suppose we are considering only 5 rows and 5 columns. So now here you can see, if column value greater than row, then there is a star. So here what is the value? Our row value is 1, so column value is 1. So here column value is greater than equal to row, so there is a star. So here column value is 2, greater than equal to 1, there is a star. Here also star, here also star, here also a star. Now here column value is 1, row value is 2, so here it is space, or I am writing a single hyphen like symbol to represent space. Then here column value is 2, row value is 2, so column greater than equal to row, so there is a star, here also star, here also star. So here column value is 1, row value is 3, so there is a space. Here column value is 2, row value is 3, so there is a space. Then here it is star, star, star. Similarly it is space, 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 star, star. Here it is space, space, star. So we are going to get the pattern like this, or we can see more clearly the pattern is like this. So here you can observe the pattern. So in first row 5 stars are there, then 1 space 4 star, then 2 space 3 star, then 3 space 2 star, then 4 space 1 star. So this is the pattern we are going to get. So you can see this pattern from a different angle like this. So here you can observe, in row 1 0 space are there, in row 2 1 space, in row 3 2 space are there, in row 4 3 space are there, in row 5 4 spaces are there. So here you can observe it is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, then row 5. So in row 1 how many spaces are there? 0 space. In row 2 1 space. In row 3 2 space. In row 4 3 space. In row 5 4 spaces are there, or I am writing in this way to represent the space. So here you can observe this. Now in row 1 0 space and 5 stars. So here I am writing 5 stars. In row 2 1 space and 4 star. In row 3 2 space and 3 star. And in row 4 3 space and 2 star. And in row 5 4 space and 1 star. So first we need to write the loop for the rows. So we have here 5 rows, so we can write for row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus. So now inside this we want to print the space and the star also. So inside this loop print both space, print both space and star. So first we need to print the space. So to print the space we can write the loop like this: for b equal to 1, b less than r, or we can say row, then b plus plus. System dot out dot print space. So here you can observe when the value of row is 1, when the value of row is 1, row less than equal to 5, yes it is true. Then the value of b is 1, b less than row, so this b value is 1, row value is 1, 1 less than 1, false, so no space is going to print. Now when the value of row is 2, the value of b is 1, so 1 less than row, yes it is true, so it is going to print 1 space. Now the value of b becomes 2, so 2 less than 2, false, so in row 2 it is going to print 1 space only. Similarly in row 3 it is going to print 2 space. Similarly in row 4 it is going to print 3 space. Like this you can check. Now after printing the space we need to print the star. So to print the star, so here you can see the star values are starting from 5, then 4, then 3, 2, 1 like this, and the value of space is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So here we can write in this way: for c equal to 5, c greater than equal to r, c minus minus, then system dot out dot print star, then here system dot out dot println for the new line. So first we need to print the space, then we need to print the star. So you can see the complete program here. So this, it is for printing the space, and the next one is to print the required star. So now focus on this pattern. So here you can observe in row 1, or let me mark different rows. So it is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4 and row 5. So in row 1, 5 stars are there, or we can say 5 column has star. In row 2, 4 stars are there, or we can say 4 columns have star. Similarly in row 3, 3 stars are there, or we can say 3 columns have star. Similarly in row 4, 2 stars are there, or we can say 2 columns have star. Similarly in row 5, only 1 star is there, or we can say 1 column has star. So the value of row here you can observe row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is the value of row. So we can write in this way, row increases from 1 to 5 and the value of column decreases here in this scenario from 5 to 1. So we can write the code snippet like this. So for row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus, then inside this we can write another for loop for column. So column equal to 5, column greater than equal to row, then column minus minus. So the value of column depends on the row. So that's why we are writing column greater than equal to row. Then system.out.print star, then system.out.println for the new line, system.out.println for the new line. So this is the code snippet for the pattern. Now you can see the complete program here. So here it is the complete program for int row equal to 1, row less than 5, row plus plus, then int column equal to 5, column greater than row, column minus minus. So initially the value of row is 1, row equal to 1, and the value of column varies from 5 to 1. So we can say it is 5 columns. Then the value of row becomes 2. So the value of column varies from 5 to 2. So you can say 4 columns. Then the value of row becomes 3 and the value of column becomes from 5 to 3, or we can say 3 columns. So like this it is going to continue. This pattern you can observe from a different angle like this. Here row 1. So let us remove this. So here you observe in row 1 5 columns have star. In row 2 4 columns have star. So in row 1, so let me write row 1, how many columns have star? 5 columns have star. In row 2, how many columns have star? 4 columns. In row 3, how many columns? See, 3 columns. In row 4, how many columns? 2 columns. In row 5, how many columns? 1 column. So here you can observe row number plus column number. So it is equal to 6 always. So row number plus column number here, it is equal to always 6. So we can write here the value of C plus R, that means column plus row equal to 6. So the value of column is equal to 6 minus row, the value of column is equal to 6 minus r or 6 minus row. So we can write the code like this for r equal to 1. So r I am writing for row, r less than equal to 5, r plus plus, then for c equal to 1, c I am writing for columns, c less than equal to 6 minus r, c plus plus, then system dot out dot print star, then system dot out dot println for the new line. So this is the code snippet to generate the pattern. So here you can observe we are updating the value of the condition like this, c less than equal to 6 minus r. So here you can see the complete program. So class test publish static void main int row equal to 1, row less than 5, row plus plus, then column equal to 1, column less than 6 minus row, column plus plus, print star, then println for the new line. Now suppose we want to print the pattern like this. So here you can observe this is row 1, this is row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, or we can draw the line in this way. Okay. Now for columns also we can draw these lines. So assume this is column 1, it is column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. So here we have 5 rows and 5 columns. So it does not matter whether you count them from 1 to 5 or from 5 to 1. So we are counting the rows from 1 to 5 and we are counting the columns from 5 to 1. So in this pictorial representation, so you can observe when the value of column less than equal to row, there is a star. So when the value of column less than equal to row, there is a star. So you can find a star there. So here you can observe. So here it is a star. So what is the value of column 1? What is the value of row 1? So 1 less than equal to 1. So it is a star. Now consider here. What is the value of column? It is 2. What is the value of row? It is 1. So 2 less than equal to 1. So it is false. So here you can find a space. Similarly for every cell, so consider this one. So here what is the value of column? It is 3. What is the value of row? It is 3. So there is a star. So 3 less than equal to 3. So consider here. What is the value of column? 2. What is the value of row? 3. So column value 2 less than equal to row value 3. So here you can find a star. So when the value of column less than equal to row, there is a star. And when the value of column greater than row, there is a space. So here you can observe the value of column greater than row. So space are there. So we can write the code in this way. So we can write for row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus, then 4, column equal to 5, column greater than equal to 1, column minus minus. So we are counting the column values from 5 to 1. Then we can write if the column value less than equal to the row value, then system dot out dot print star, else system dot out dot print some space. Then we can write system dot out dot println for the new line. So here you can observe this is the code snippet for the pattern. So here column less than equal to row, so there is a star, and we are counting the rows from 1 to 5 and counting the columns from 5 to 1. So we have 5 rows and 5 columns, and this is the code snippet. So you can see the complete program here. So int row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus, column equal to 5, column greater than equal to 1, column minus minus. So if column less than equal to row, print star, else print space, then println for the new line. So here you can observe, so stars are there. So here you can observe space are there before the star, space are there before the star. So you cannot ignore this else part. So it is, you need to write the else part. You need to print the blank space. So you can also see this figure from a different angle. So here you can observe in row 1, so in row 1 4 blank space are there and 1 star. In row 2 3 blank space and 2 star. In row 3 2 blank space and 3 star. And in row 4 1 blank space and 4 star. Similarly in row 5 0 blank space and 5 star. So the value of space are decreasing from 4 to 0. So the value of space are decreasing from 4 to 0, and the value of star increasing from 1 to 5. So we can write the code snippet in this way. So for r equal to 1, r less than equal to 5, r plus plus. So r I am writing for rows. Then inside this loop we need to print first the space, then we will print the star. So to print the space we can write in this way: for b equal to 4, b greater than equal to r, b minus minus, then system dot out dot print space. So to print the space or blank space I am taking a variable b, and initially it is 4, and when the condition b greater than equal to r, it is going to print space. So here you can observe in row 1, or when the value of r is 1, it is going to print 4 star, and when the value of row is 2, it is going to print 3 star. Similarly, so when the value of row is 1, it is going to print 4 star. When the value of row is 2, it is going to print 3 star. When the value of row is 3, it is going to print 2 star, like this. So after printing the space, we need to print the star. So to print the star, we need to write another loop. So for c equal to 1, c less than equal to r, c plus plus, system dot out dot print star. That means when row equal to 1, it is going to print 1 star. When the value of row equal to 2, it is going to print 2 star, like this. Then after this we can write system dot out dot println for the new line. So this is the code snippet to print the pattern. So here you can see the complete program. So row equal to 1, row less than equal to 5, row plus plus. Then b equal to 4, b greater than equal to row b minus minus, print space. So this for loop is for printing the space, and this for loop is for printing the star. So the first for loop is printing the space and the second for loop is printing the star. Then after that the new line gets executed. Now consider this pattern. So we have already discussed how to print this pattern. So now instead of printing the star, so if you want to print space and star, so one space and star. So for clear visibility I am writing hyphen and star. So hyphen is for blank space. Then this star. So in place of star I am simply printing space and star. So here it is up to 5 rows. So the left one is only star. So here the right one is space and star, or here I am representing hyphen with space, hyphen and star. So here if you consider only the stars, just remove the space or hyphens. So if you consider only the stars, then it looks like a pyramid. So you can see this structure looks like a pyramid. Now if the pattern, or if you want to print the pyramid pattern, so just update the program here and print space and star in place of printing star. So you can see if we want to print this type of structure, then so we know how to print this structure. So we know how to print this structure. So here just print space and star. So here you can observe one space is there, then star. So this program we have already discussed. Only the new thing is here. The updation is here. Here space and star we are printing instead of only star. So if you print only star, then this pattern is going to generate. Now if we print space and star, you are going to get the pyramid pattern. So let us consider this pattern. So here this triangle pattern is called as Pascal's triangle. Then how to print this Pascal's triangle? Using nested loop. So here you can ignore this space, or you can ignore this pyramid pattern, because we know how to deal with the pyramid pattern. So for the time being you can just ignore the space or pyramid pattern. So in first row the pattern is like 1, then 1 1 in second row, then in third row it is 1 2 1, then in fourth row it is 1 3 3 1, then in fifth row it is 1 4 6 4 1, then it is 1 5 10 10 5 1. So we are considering up to 6th row. So you can consider up to any row. Okay. Now here you can observe the first column value is always 1. So the first column value, it is always 1. Now the second column value, come to the second column value. So the second column value is row minus 1. So here let me write this. It is C1, C2, then C3, then C4, C5, C6, like this. So here in first column the value is always 1. Here you can see. So I am writing here first column is 1, or we are writing C1 is equal to 1. Then what is the value of second column? How to get? So in second column you can see the second column value is row minus 1. So it is row 2. So the column is 2 minus 1. So it is row 3, 3 minus 1, that is 2. So let me write the rows also. So it is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. So the second column value is equal to the row value minus 1. So here you can consider in row 6 the second column value is 5, so 6 minus 1. So in row 5 the second column value is 4, so 5 minus 1. Now how to get the value of column 3? So here you can observe what is the value of C3 or column 3. So it is like C2, that means the previous column value. So here you can see the previous column value multiplication row minus 2 division 2. Similarly, what is the value for fourth column? That is equal to C3, that means the previous column value multiplication row minus 3 division 3. Now if you want to generalize, so we can write that the value of n is equal to n multiplication, that means the previous value of n multiplication row minus column division column. So this column is the previous column value. So it is also the previous column value, and row is the present row value. So this is the formula to find the numbers or the elements in Pascal's triangle. So here you can observe like this. For int r equal to 1, r less than equal to 6, r plus plus. So I am writing r for rows. Now here we can take a variable int n equal to 1. Then inside this we need to write another loop int c equal to 1, c less than equal to r, c plus plus, system.out.print n. That means first it is going to print 1 for column 1, then the value of n is going to be updated. So how we are updating the value of n? N equal to n multiplication row value minus column value division column value. So this is the formula to update the value of n. So you need to write this inside the inner for loop, then system.out.println for the new line. So this is the code snippet to print Pascal's triangle. So this is the formula to get the value. So where R represents the row value, C represents the column value, and N is a variable, and initial value of N is 1. So you can see the complete program here, and here this one is we are writing this one to take care of the space or for make this pyramid structure. Now this part is the values, and R equal to 1, R less than equal to 6, R plus plus, this is for number of rows. This is the complete program.